We're good to go.
Welcome everyone. Welcome to the 25th edition of the Home Theater Hub. As usual, I got my two partners in crime, Mr. Paul, Mr. Ike. How are you guys doing today, Ike?
Good. Tired, but good. So we're going to have to
do some jumping jacks or something over there, man.
Do some stretching so I can stay up and not fall asleep by 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drink a beer, man. The sugar in that'll wake you up for a little bit. You might crash in 15 minutes, but it'll wake you up for a little bit.
It'll be a good 15-minute show, everybody. Yep. See you later.
15 minutes well spent.
That's what she said.
Well, that long?
I know, right? I'll take it.
Yeah, right.
I'll take 15 minutes.
I'll take it.
What's going on, Paul? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Nothing. Been cleaning the garage, finally, I was going to buy some shelves, and then I've got this like 28-foot ladder I need to hang, and man, it took me a lot longer just to go get the stuff to hang the ladder, and because I had to make sure I got 3 hooks because I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to fall off the wall. I had to put the laser level up there.
Oh yeah, got to
measure the rungs, make sure I was drilling into a stud, and stagger them enough to where they wouldn't get in the way of the ladder rungs. And I'm like, damn, this took a lot longer. I must have climbed up and down that ladder like 20 times. I was like,
to hang a ladder, your OCD kicked in. I understand.
Yeah, pretty much. That's basically what it boiled down to, right?
I was doing the same today for work.
It looks good though.
I was doing the same for work today because I had we got a bunch of in the state of Florida, you require an ID card to apply pesticides. So we just got all new ID cards, and they have to be posted. So I took down the pegboard of the old ones, and I started putting the other ones on, and I'm like, no, that don't look right. I mean, because these ones are a little bit bigger than
the worst. Yes.
So so my OCD kicked in on that too today. I spent like 2 hours just thumbtacking stuff.
I hate that because sometimes you're like, you see something and you're like, okay, and you're overthinking it, right?
Right.
And if you stop, you could do the whole thing in like a tenth of the time that you were spending. And then no matter what, and that's what I have to tell myself, no matter how perfect you get it, until you're actually in the workflow of that scenario, you're going to need to change it. Just like whenever you're putting a kitchen together, it's like, where do I need to put my glasses? Where do I need to put my plates? Where do I need to put my silverware? Right. Yeah, until you lived in that exact spot, you don't know because you're going to change
exactly.
And that's but you're trying to get it to where, I'm only gonna have to do this once. No, you're gonna have to do it multiple times. Don't even try. Just get it put together and move on.
And you would think the spices should go next to the stove, but then you find out something else better should go there, right?
Yeah.
That's proof that you don't use spices, Don.
Mine are above the ones I use the most. I have them in 2 spots. One's in the cupboard, and then I have, my main ones like right above the.
What are we even talking about, man? Let's give a shout out to those in the chat, man. What's up,
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
What's up,
Siphonics? You got the link, man. Jump on in if you want to.
What's up, C-Big? It's been a while, man. You need a link to hop on, C-Big. You need to hop on, man.
So
we got to get some theater updates from C-Big.
What did you guys end up? Oh, I did buy something, and I got it. The little bitty portable, like my camping projector.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a piece of shit, but $25.
$25.
Yeah, dude.
Does it even?
Pretty good for
you
that.
Can't even buy a viewfinder for $25 anymore.
Dude, I'm telling you, right? It is, but it works. And you know what? Honestly, the problem it is a native 480p projector. And you also have to, it only does FAT16, which if you don't know what that is, basically the largest file size is 4 gigs.
Yep.
So you have to use FFmpeg to down convert to, you know, excuse me, for, you know, gig file. So you gotta either be watching some DVDs or something. But other than that, it worked pretty damn good. I even plugged my iPhone into the HDMI port and just played my streaming stuff, Plex, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, this works. It has a built-in speaker. I mean, you know, it has whatever you stone. I forget what the hell that's called. I'm horrible at remembering shit. The where it changes the angle.
Keystone.
Keystone. There you go. Yeah, you knew it. But what did you watch this week, or did you have time to watch anything?
No, the only thing I watched was I'm going to share something that I watched here. Let's see. Let me do this real quick. Share screen. Go ahead and share that up, Mr. Ike.
Yeah, Lee, why do I see my face on that screen? I don't even feel safe. I don't even feel safe.
It's not the pink cowboy this time, at least.
I saw my face. I was like, oh, man, did I just end up somewhere I'm not supposed to? But yeah.
No, the only thing that I had a chance to watch was a bunch of reviews on YouTube. So taking them in here and there. Unfortunately, no movies.
Yeah.
My wife had me going around. We've been shopping for a new dining room table. We got some company coming in.
Does it come with subwoofer?
I wish. It's near field dining room chairs.
Oh, there you go.
Hoverboss dining room chairs. But no, we actually, it was surprising. And you asked this question in the green room that, you know, how was it furniture shopping? Because, you know, back COVID time, it was when I got my couches delivered, it took almost 6 months for the couch when I ordered them from, you know, when I got them, they said they're, you know, out of stock and it's going to take 6 months. But literally I walked into the store on Tuesday and had a brand new dining room table delivered on Thursday. So it was pretty impressive actually. But no, I got to check out. I rewound it here, Ike, so you can see the red line progress that I actually watched this, right? So
yeah, that's good. Thank you.
I'm like, I started and then I got another something come up and I hadn't even finished it, and I wanted to watch it, and I was probably only 20% through it, and I was like, God dang it!
And look at that, you're almost there, brother. You're almost 932 subscribers. Congratulations, man. You're
I know, right?
Slowly
getting to that 1,000.
If you guys are not a subscriber to Ike's channel, please smash that subscribe button so this man can get monetized. He's working hard, right? So not that he's counting on YouTube money.
He wants to get at that shill level. Like once you get to 1,000, time to start shilling.
Why? So
that's the marker, right?
I know, right? So I can get to like 100,000 in 2 months.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Please subscribe to his channel. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, Horizon Home Theater, please make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. So we're both on a journey. Ike is growing a little bit faster than me, but hey, it is what it is. He's putting some videos and stuff out that I just don't have time to do. So, but yeah, no, I watched the video. It was a great video, great comparison to the 4K player. I liked how you stacked them together, and how you you went through the back. You know the what the differences on the back were. Let me see if I can pull that up here. There you go.
Yeah,
right there. So, you know, you can make sure you guys check this video out because it's a very intuitive video about the.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. That looks like 2 totally different manufacturers made that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's.
So I know we just did a show on Kaleidoscape last week, but look, we all have our own servers and well, those guys have their own servers. I have a makeshift server. I just rip onto an external hard drive and use a a 3.0 dongle and what is it, USB 3.0 dongle that I connect 6 drives to. So we both use our
Everyone has their preference
players.
of
Right,
function.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
exactly.
No, that's absolutely true. I don't even hate people that are just pure streaming, because I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. I mean, except whenever they remove what I'm watching, that makes it annoying.
Yeah, so make sure you guys head on over to Ike's channel and check that out. Ike, what else you working on? Did you get that sofa baton in?
Yeah, I do, and I should be working on the video starting tomorrow.
Okay.
So
There you
hopefully
go.
I
Are
should
they
get
gonna
it out
make
this
like a
weekend.
chair baton that's slimmer? Like that sofa baton's got to be pretty fat.
That's a good looking
Yeah,
remote. Everybody's giving it a good review.
yeah, it looks like it's coming out better, and I mean, for lack of a budget-friendly alternative, right? We it works just based on what I've seen from the I've actually only watched 2 reviews because I'm trying not to watch so many reviews, especially when you're trying to review something, so you don't get your your thought process colored or something like that. So, but from those 2 reviews, and they're 2 individuals that I respect, it looks like it's a really good device. So, but yeah, I'll put it to test starting tomorrow, and we'll see.
So we got a question from Richard. What do you gentlemen think about high-end Theory audio design speaker systems?
Yeah, I was just looking that up. If you can go to their website, I think. But it looks. I haven't listened to them or tried them at all, but they look like some good-looking high-end speakers. Now, are you referring to the in wall or the on walls? Because they look like they have in walls and on walls. I can put a link in the chat for you to pull it up since you already have your screen up.
Yeah, let me see here. Let me go back to that.
I just put it in the chat so you can just pull that up. But
yeah, share this tab stuff. There we go.
Oh, I've seen it. Okay.
they almost look.
Yeah.
Those cones look good, man. They look familiar.
Seen those before.
Yeah, I've not
without the pattern, but they look familiar.
yeah, I've not heard them. Nor have I've seen them in any of the shows.
Yep.
Maybe Joseph Siphonics has seen those speakers or heard them speakers. Maybe he can drop a comment in here. Theory Audio is some serious tech, so yeah, he actually has already commented on this. But I don't recall listening to these, so let's see what they look like here. Do they have different models? So they got surface
Yeah,
mount.
they have different on walls, in walls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Joseph is saying they did a good demo at CES.
I see. Yeah, I personally haven't heard them, so I couldn't give Richard. I couldn't give you an honest opinion on them.
Is it the Ori? Is that how you pronounce that? The
Theory.
Ori. It is pronounced theory. That's weird. I mean, I know that's how it's spelled, but they have the O specifically circled, so it would make me believe that it would be called the Ori.
We got subwoofers also. 12-inch subwoofer. 15-inch subwoofer. Oh, look at that design. The control on the top.
Well, they got to be pretty decent. It looks like they have
check
actual
check out that comment for you, Paul. It's just theory, man.
Stop trying to be fancy.
Yeah, don't get it complicated.
Hey, that's not me being fancy. That's me being ignorant.
Look at that.
why
that
would
in
there
wall
be a
subwoofer.
capital O or a different O in there?
Yeah, that in wall subwoofer looks different, man.
Yeah, so that reminds me of the JBL in wall subwoofers. They have JBL has something just like that to where it fills the whole wall cavity, and you basically the same exact thing same exact setup, but that looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look really good, and the fact that they're sealed enclosures that just what I'm saying, like instead of just open back baffles, so they've got
Oh, they
enough.
have a pendant option, just like the JBL also. So sometimes those are good for what do they call them? Vaulted ceilings, Colfort ceilings. That way you can get them to the same height. You
Yep.
Yep.
you can use those as Atmos or Oro 3D setup, and just adjust the pendant. But yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep. Looks like a fancy design too.
It's got like a small magnetar almost. Look at that. Oh, that's like an on wall. Okay, that mounts like an on wall there. There we go.
Yeah,
And if you
those
look,
are the
they
on
have
walls.
the
All weather outdoor. Yeah.
the screw type of connection.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what they call that with the green, where you're actually screwing the speakers in the wires.
China is just being wild, man.
You have pendants, Shauna?
Pendant life matters, man.
Yeah. Pendants. Hey. Pennants or pendants? Yeah. There's not enough pennants. Pendants.
So did you guys hear the news? The most important news.
What? That you got to pay? You got to pay $25,000 for 300 additional
you
lumens.
got drywall up and you started painting and you might actually have a theater. Is that
most important news of the week? If you can pop that up there.
Yeah, you got to pay. You got to pay what? $25,000 for 300 additional lumens, man. I got to put this on a full screen, man.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to
yeah.
add it.
Let's put it on full screen so we can talk shit about it.
Well, look, don't hate just because you purchased a projector like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Hey, that's why I put it. That's why I put it on full screen so they can't see my face talk shit.
Yeah. So this is the.
Are you I'm assuming you're getting one, right?
Oh heck yeah!
Well, so
you're gonna sell me your old. You're gonna sell me your old one at a better than Youth Man deal, and feel good about it. And then you're gonna buy one of these fancy.
If it's better than a Youth Man deal, that's like real life robbery, man. You got.
Here's the situation, right? I am a dealer for JVC, so I feel obligated that I need to have the best projector that I can afford.
If you're going to also use this as a demo room, I'm
right.
not even. But it's no fun to talk technical and logistics. It's better to make fun of you, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But honestly,
you would buy it even if it was one lumen different.
Well, no, not exactly, because I honestly don't. I don't think that with these projectors that going from an NZ8 to an NZ800 is a big deal. However, if I were going from the NZ8 to the NZ900, which is the other the higher model, let's see if I can find.
There was something in there that was a big difference though on the older one. They trickled down the NZ9, one of the NZ9 features, and I forgot what it was. Like some of the tone mapping capabilities or something weird like that.
Let me see. I'll go back to the 800, but there's a filmmaker mode. That was always there, though. It was a filmmaker mode there.
Yeah, they brought another feature down to the 800 series that was
the lenses. I know that the lenses haven't changed. They're both using the same lenses. There is more, like I mentioned, there is more lumens, right? So the question is, 300 additional lumens. I think for both of them, how much is that going to equivalate into foot Lamberts, right?
Well, and remember, unless you're getting, you're going to have black levels or lumens. So, I mean, which one is it gonna be?
Well, they say there's a new. I think there is a new chip. I think now that I remember, I think there's a new. I can't remember exactly, but they say that it's going to, have the same or if not better black levels, even with the higher
With the higher lumens.
resolution and higher lumens. So
So I get the feeling that this is like a mid-season refresh, right? But does that mean that there will still be a different model coming out in another year or two, or is this going to be, the one we get for the next 3 years? Because there was nothing done to the NZ7, so my assumption is that will remain the laser entry level, and then they're going to sell out the existing models of the 800 and then the NZ8 and the 9, and then this becomes the main 800 and 900 series.
Yeah, I'm not sure what honestly, it was a surprise to me. We all know that every 3 or 4 years JVC refreshes, right? But I was honestly surprised.
This is around the 3-year mark, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm.
I didn't even think it'd been that long. God.
Yeah, it's around the 3-year mark,
I mean,
and that's
everybody
why
is still talking about I think because it was a new technology. Everybody is like been talking about the laser because
the other thing is that JVC. So they did the same thing when the NZs came out instead of NX to the NZs. They announced it early in the year, like just after CEDIA, and then they created all this hype, and then you couldn't get one. Literally, they were supposed to release in August, then it was September, then October, then November, then December, and by the time people started getting their orders, it was already almost a year after they announced it, right? So I think they're just trying to create that buzz again, even though it's people were probably starting to receive their first JVCs, the NZ models. I would say September, August, you might have gotten one trickle in. But I know it took a little bit for me to get mine. I pre-ordered mine with a dealer because I wasn't a JVC dealer at the time. And he actually came back to me and said, look, I can't get it, So I had to wind up going through another person, and it took several weeks for me to be able to get it. But, I wouldn't say like a month or two to be able to get the NZ8. NZ9, they were a little bit easier to get, I guess, just because of the cost, right? So it was, most people not spending $25,000 on a projector. So they were a little bit easier to get.
They're not going to buy those cheap things. They need those barcodes, man. If it's less than $300,000, you gotta, you don't even know what you're missing as far as clarity and lumens.
So is that a comparison chart between the NZ9 and the 900?
Yeah, I think so. Just a little for better HDR experience. Doesn't display mastering luminance for better HDR. Let's see, HDR 10. So, and I was hoping that because as these projectors get brighter and brighter, I was hoping that we would start to see some projectors with Dolby Vision also, right? Some not the what are those, the ultra short throws, but possibly some of the long throw projectors to start implicating some.
Yeah, but if you do that, then you'll probably have to limit them right to 120-inch diagonal screen or
I think 150. That's it on the
so
NZ8. That's what they brought down, right? The frame, because the older one didn't have the frame adaptive, or did it?
No, it did. They all had the frame.
They all have the frame adapt.
Oh, okay. I forgot what feature. It seemed like.
But this is like Gen 2. It says it right there. This is Gen 2.
Yeah, Gen 2. But that came out in the last update. the Generation 2 frame
okay.
came out in the last update.
Okay, the update. Okay.
Yeah.
There was something else that I thought, but
So, I mean, the question is how much are you going to see out of 300 more lumens? I mean, look, I understand, I have several flashlights. I'm a flashlight collector, and 1,000 lumen this, 800 lumen this. I have a flashlight that's 25,000 lumens, right? So I understand what it is, but by the time you
claimed
yeah,
25,000 lumens.
no, this thing is bright. It will burn your face off. So
It literally 25,000 lumens would literally burn paper.
mm-hmm,
I mean,
yep,
that's
that's why it has a near like a sensor on it. So when it gets near something, it shuts down. It'll shut the light off completely. I'll show it to you one day. But yeah, no, I don't know how much.
I'm still trying to get past the fact that you said you're a touchlight collector.
A flashlight collector.
Flashlight collector.
I don't want to see your flashlight. I mean, flashlight.
No flashlights. That's what I have a wife for.
He's a collector of flashlights. That's what he really said.
Okay, move on.
No, no. I mean, my job requires a good flashlight, so that's why you need a good flashlight to do a good inspection.
Well, yeah, I guess if you
but that's
burning everything.
So that's a tool for the job, but becoming a collector, well, I guess, yeah.
Hey, everybody, dude, people collect knives, people collect stamps.
People collect stamps, right? Exactly.
People collect coins.
Oh man, I used to have a great stamp collection, man. Sheesh.
Richard says you can always just shop Dream Media and get a micro LED. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I saw a comment from Michael here saying that they need to compete. I don't know if that's the target. They're expecting you to drop 25 grand. I don't know if even the mini LED is within that.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah, it's not even close. So they're looking at a different market.
I just don't know, because that's a big. It's there's going to be heavier than a projector screen. It's going to be way more cumbersome, and you've got to get that thing through the walls, right? I mean,
well, if it's the mini LED, then you obviously it's going to be in panels or something like that.
Yeah, so that one will eventually be the thing, but then you're still talking about power consumption like crazy. You're gonna have to buy a mini split just to sit above the thing and below it to cool it.
Yeah, and instead of having
a 200-inch, I mean, that's what I would go with, right?
Yeah, instead of having butt shakers, you're gonna need ice shakers under your seat.
Yeah,
because you're gonna be sweating in that room.
You're gonna have to have it's gonna have to be in a Yeti frame, right, to keep it cool.
Yeah, but I think I think it's good that we have some type of refresh. I always like mid-season refresh, whatever that is, So it's good. I just know that, I'm not the target audience for this particular one. So, I'll look forward to the next one. But, we know Don is going to get it. So we can't wait to see the unboxing and, get to experience it firsthand. So,
well, I can tell you that it's not going to happen until the theater's done, right? So,
yeah, because else it will have to sit in the box for another 6 months. We don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's not going to happen until I get the theater done. And honestly, I want to turn on the NZ. I've messed around with the NZ8. It's probably got like 10 hours on it. So I've messed around.
Don't be turning that thing on if you're selling it to me. Just get the damn NZ800 and don't be using my projector, bro.
He better turn it on so that he can use up the lumen of the life, and then you can buy it for cheap.
We need 19,998 hours
of that thing so you can buy it for
$1,200. Dirty Don left it on to watch his,
As a dealer, I had already planned on, just maybe keeping the NZ8 for like a month or so, and then buying the NZ9, right? Swapping it out. So, I had already had that plan. Plus, the bigger lens, you can, if I wanted to ever go to a bigger screen, the throw distance requirements are a little bit less,
So
right?
so so you buy the NZ900 and then you still need a Mod VR and probably a K-Scape too to get the best quality.
Well,
This is just a complicated world, man.
well,
I'm about to start. I'm
Well,
about to
yeah, if
pick
you're
up
keeping up with the Joneses,
spare
but if
fishing
you're
as a hobby or something, man. Because this home theater
you're
thing is expensive.
if you're actually just watching
yeah,
movies,
I don't think you actually need the Mad
I'm
VR
about to
because
start
there
spare
are a
fishing
cheaper
for
option out
fun.
there.
I
you
mean,
can
yeah, the
see a difference.
Lumigen, but
You
that's
You
the
definitely
only
can
thing.
see
buy
a
a
difference.
$60,000 boat to fish anymore either. So
Yeah, well, that's true. So,
Uh,
what did you watch, Ike? We
I
went
did.
from he watched your
YouTube
review,
video.
and then we went to JVC
Well,
projection.
I'm glad that's the only video I have out there that he actually watches, so that's good. But
I just put it on loop for you, so that way you get all
appreciate
the
it,
views you
man.
can.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's probably how I got 1,000 views. But yeah, I picked up a couple of CDs. This is, I don't know if you guys ever watched the Medici on Netflix.
Did you say CDs?
Yeah,
Yes, this
take
is the
this screen
soundtrack.
share
So
down so I can
this is the
see,
music
man. That's like
score.
micro.
Yeah,
You're on a mic.
you gotta take our share off so we can see.
Oh
what
yeah,
you're
let me see if I can even find my screen. But yeah, this is the Medici. It used to be on Netflix. It's an Italian show about the Medici family. I can tell you that it has one of the best music scores in movies and TV shows. So I ended up buying the CD just so I can listen to it.
Nice.
Okay.
It is really, yeah, you could just.
And what player are you using to play that, or did you rip it?
I will probably end up doing it, but I do have a CD player, some old school CD player. So
Okay.
that's what I'm going to use to listen to it. And then I bought another TV show that I enjoyed watching, The Borgias. It's also another Italian. It's a like old school Roman Pope history type stuff. So if you know about the Medici family, the Borgias is another, powerful family that had like 3 or 4 popes from that bloodline. So I bought the complete set, and I want to rewatch Spartacus. So I bought the complete edition. And if you buy the complete edition, it's uncensored. Don't ask me, but yeah. So if you
So it's
stream
uncut,
it,
is what you're saying.
Sorry?
It's the uncut versions.
Yes, it's the uncut, uncensored versions. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I picked up this week, and
But that wasn't the question. The question was, what did you watch?
no, that's leading to what I plan to watch. I did not watch anything this week, so yeah.
Understood. Yeah,
It's in the queue. Yep. I have not watched a movie this week myself. I binged the live action One Piece.
Live action One Piece. What is that?
One Piece is an anime that's about a character that eats a devil fruit and gets special powers. And it's an anime, so you can just imagine. And they have some. It's a ton. Like they're up to like a couple hundred episodes on the actual anime, but it's like a world building type of anime where they go and meet new characters and new worlds and stuff like that. And it's pretty interesting. It's pretty wild, but it's an anime thing, right? If you don't like anime or you're not into that kind of, characters and character building with, superpowers and people figuring out, their, super unrealistic superpowers or whatever, you wouldn't like it. But it was pretty decent.
Oh. I should have pulled you guys back, but I just
Yeah.
wanted everyone to see my face. I was like, what's going on here?
We can see your actions and reactions. Like what?
Yeah, I was like,
Yellow.
what's going on here? I look lost. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like one of the first characters is like this evil clown, right? That I mean, literally, and he has a special ability that I won't mention because I don't want to. And anybody wants to watch it, I don't want to delve. But yeah, it's like an evil clown that has another like super special ability. But anyways, it's again, it's an anime live action, which I like that. I like seeing how they do that because when it comes to anime, it's artist drawing and you're limited to your creativity, right? So and then trying to convert that to live action actors and then CGI type of deal, you're man, that's a whole different world, But
Yeah.
they did a decent job. I would definitely, as far as conversion, and keeping to me along the flow, it's like a good 8 out of 10 as far as like, yeah, they're pretty close. It was well enough. Um, but there was definitely like there were some characters that they didn't have in there. But it overall, and they gave different people different kind of personas, in which some people, if you're really hardcore into that anime, you probably would be like, oh, they did this wrong, they did that wrong, and it was horrible, and I understand that, but those people a lot of the times don't understand the difficulty of, well, you can't just take this and then convert it to live action as easy as you can just draw something. So, but
Yeah, I don't do a lot of anime watching. I've heard, there's a lot of great anime
you need to be
shows out there or
slowly you need
series
to
out
be
there.
slowly introduced to something that's not so much cartoonish type
Even
of
like The
deal.
Simpsons and Family Guy. I never I watched some episodes here and there, but I was never
Yeah.
attracted to,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to love Family Guy, man, but at some point I was just like, man, some of the jokes just started getting over my head. It's like, just take a break from it. But I've never really like I would watch animes. I just don't have that staying power that you guys do for like 12 seasons.
right.
Like some of
Yeah.
those things just like go forever.
And I agree with you on that. Like some of them, I'm just like, oh my god, that's like 500 episodes, and it's like,
Yeah,
jeez,
like who's gonna
grimy.
do
That's why
that?
a lot of the ones that I really really like, they have like 6 seasons. I like one of my favorite is Cowboy Bebop. But some of the ones that are also like for Don, I would say if you're gonna try to even think about anime, I would say watch Cowboy Bebop first because it's more of it's an anime. It's legitimate, full, but it has a totally different story and it's not cartoony at all comparatively.
Okay.
So Cowboy Bebop's like really that's one of my favorite, if not my favorite. I like Samurai
Yeah,
Champloo.
I've heard
I
some
like
of these get
I like Trigun. I like Inuyasha, but that again, that one got a little long. I'm like, oh my god, how many different bad guy characters or whatever. I like it whenever they, instead of just throwing a new thing, or a new bad guy. Like that's what One Piece is right now, right? Like One Piece is one of those endless. Hey, they're gonna keep writing this, which I still like that type, but it's like, oh, they're gonna keep doing it till the ratings just go down to where, okay, well let's end
right.
it, you know. So
Yeah, no, I've heard there's some pretty graphic animes that are
mm,
pretty good, so
yeah, I'm not even talking about like graphics or anything like that. I'm not into the friggin', what a lot of people think anime is, as far as like high school, and I'm kids or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I'm totally not into that at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I want something with a storyline. I want action, you know. So, but my my buddy grew up on that, so he's into that because it reminds him more of his childhood, not because he's into some weird stuff. But
So would anime be considered? Because I've heard of this new show that's like trending right now. I think it's Shogun. Would that be considered? Because that's like a weekly show or something like that. Would that be considered? Because I don't
I
even know the genre. To be honest
heard,
with you.
I have not seen it, but I heard Shogun is kind of like that. I heard Shogun
Okay.
is like an anime type of
I've been
live
looking for.
action.
I've been looking for
I haven't
like.
seen it yet, but
I don't want to
I've
stream
heard
it. I've
that.
been
So
looking for a
yes, that
download.
might be.
I've been looking for a download copy of Shogun because I don't want to stream it. Because
Yeah.
I want it. It sounds like a really good show from the reviews that I've seen. So I'm like, let me see if I can get a really good copy. But I don't know if it will ever come out on disc. That's just.
Oh yeah. So are you watching that, or have you seen that?
I have not. I've just seen a couple of reviews about it,
okay.
and I like the storyline.
I've heard
kind
it
of read
was.
about
I
the
heard
storyline.
if
It's
you,
really good.
yeah, someone said, "Oh yeah, if you're into anime, you'll love this show." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh okay." I forgot who said that, but I was like, "Oh okay," because I even mentioned some anime that I like, and they're like, "Oh, you gotta watch Shogun then." And I was like, "Oh okay." So
Yeah. Fred's saying Ninja Scroll, Akira,
Oh yeah, I
Ghost,
love it.
in,
I
Ghost
love
in the
Akira,
Shell.
man.
well, yeah, those are
I love
especially
Akira,
like
man.
Akira. That's cult classic. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a cult classic right
if
there.
you don't have Akira, you don't even know what anime is. That's those don't count.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
like
classic right there, man.
yeah. You're
Gotcha.
talking old school classics. And dude, I ride motorcycles. Are you kidding? I have that in like 15 different versions.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell. I started watching that at some point, but I just never.
Oh yeah, that
Uh,
one is worth the investment.
So was the movie made after the anime, or was the anime
Oh,
made
yeah,
after?
That
the
Ghost in the
anime
Shell
was
is
like
old.
mid '90, man. The movie
Yeah,
was like 2018 or 2017, something like that.
Okay.
It's worth the investment if you haven't. Well, if you've seen the movie, you get the gist
Right.
of it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. But they waited for seasons before they divulged what was really going on.
Yeah, I think it was 1995. That's when the animated Ghost in the Shell anime.
Okay.
Yep. That's old school, man.
Well, speaking of what you bought, have you guys heard about the release of Gravity, which people were paying $90, $150, $200
$250, man.
for the
Just to get the Dolby Atmos.
to get the Dolby Atmos, but now apparently they're re-releasing this in a Blu-ray form with Atmos. Have you heard about that?
I already pre-ordered it.
Oh, nice.
I got mine coming into what, May 15th?
It was only like $20, right? $15.
It's releasing a day after.
The physical media
After
is not
Dune 2,
something
that's-
you invest in unless it's a specific like steel box that's something that has emotional value to thousands of people, not just you. Like you have to do like a special, George Lucas friggin' steel box set that he signed, and there's only 500 copies of it. That other than that, man, when you're paying hundreds of dollars for a disc or something like, it's like, oh man. Now, some things like some of the horror genre is more collectible to people, and they really get into some of those box sets and stuff like that. But it's a little more steady than your general random movie, That's, and when I say random, it's yeah, Gravity's a big movie. People love that. But yeah, $100 for Atmos. I'm like, dude, that's a hard pass for me.
No, but think about it, right? When it came out, right, it was one of the very few movies that was Dolby Atmos certified for demos. So a lot of people were kind of like rushing.
Yeah, and when
I don't care about the movies,
yeah,
just the
that
sound.
I may do, right, like in that scenario, but people were paying that long after, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah, but I'm just glad. But yes, Beefy, there's no 3D. Plus, it's just the Dolby Atmos. I figured they just wanted to release it just to, you know,
Yeah,
just to make some more money out of it.
Well, maybe they're like, well, physical media is going to be going away. We might as well get our last little boop.
Yeah, but I think there was always rumors, right, the last couple of years that the 4K version was going to come out, and then COVID and all of that, and they probably figured, yeah, let's just bring out the. I mean, why was everybody buying it? Wasn't it for the Dolby Atmos? So just take the Blu-ray and the Dolby Atmos and the Atmos track.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'd like, there's ways around it, but you really have to know what you're doing. So you if you have the 4K version, you can take the Blu-ray soundtrack and mux them together. Right. But it does take the timing and all that stuff to get them to make sure they match up perfectly. And then same thing with the 3D. You take the 3D video and you mux it with the Atmos. Right. So I've not tried to do it myself, but I've seen several people or heard of several people that have done it.
A couple discs.
So Richard is asking what version. Do you know what version is on the K-Scape done?
So the K-Scape has always had the Atmos version, and it was like $19.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
So it's always been the 4K Dolby Atmos version,
and also 4K.
Yes, nice. I believe so. Let me look it up here. I own it, so let me go to my my page.
K-Scape guys are doing it big, man.
Let's see here. Gravity.
Yeah, but I mean, most people are buying it for the Atmos. So, hey, you could play the Blu-ray just to get the audio, and then just watch the 4K on your projector screen. just enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's difficult, but it's not that difficult to mux. I mean, well. If you have,
so it's in Dolby HD Dolby True HD Atmos. It's not in 4K. It's just in HD on Kaleidoscape.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I mean, I guess most people upscale it, right? If you have a good processor, you get it upscaled.
Right. Yeah. I do 100% agree with what Beefy was saying. Not only just the Atmos tracks, but I hate the fact that they're like, oh, 4K with Atmos. Oh, Blu-ray. Oh, it doesn't have Atmos. Sorry. It's like, what? Like, why? It's like, literally, you've already digitized it. Unless you're telling me the 4K is like an extended edition only. The soundtrack to put an Atmos onto the Blu-ray is like one click of a friggin' button.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah. You separate the audio and drop it in, right?
So if you've already done, well, the audio is separate. That's the thing that people don't understand. The audio is completely separate when they're mastering.
Just pay China, man. Just
thousands of different
just pay China, man, and you'll put it in Dolby Atmos, man.
Yeah, and that's
pay Technodad, man.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing that I've done, right? Like, because I like to watch movies on the go, so I have my own little server thing, but I don't invest in, I want to be able to convert 4K only, so I just have Blu-ray. But if I'm at a place that has Atmos, right, and they can stream the full bandwidth of my Blu-rays, I want them to get an Atmos track. So yeah, you got a Mux. So you got to get the chaptered versions of this movie, and then add that extra track, and then label it however you want to. Yeah, it's just like, man, really, you're gonna try to force me to get the 4K. Now the ones that come with the Blu-ray and the 4K, it's like, okay, yeah, but at the same time, some movies, it's like I don't want to pay an extra $15 for a an cartoon that has HDR. I'm like, whatever. I can watch that in regular stuff. Like, I just got Cocaine Bear. Remember, I watched that. I would have been pissed if I would have bought the 4K version of that. I was
So
like,
is the one that you pre-ordered, is that 4K?
No, they're not releasing. It's just a Blu-ray.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not releasing the 4K, which was the disappointment because the rumors were always that the 4K was going to get released, and then I guess they just tossed out the Blu-ray.
If they see the sale of this Blu-ray,
then they might
like,
think
ooh.
about the 4K,
and then they'll be like, "Oh, now let's release the 4K."
Yeah, there's no 4K version, so yeah, I think that's probably what they would do. They probably test in the market. I don't know. That's just speculations, but
yeah. It is annoying that they hold you hostage on the audio, because some people, and you know what, the streaming services are doing the same thing. It's like, oh, you want 4K? Oh, you got to pay the $25 extra.
Oh yeah.
Like,
YouTube TV is doing it.
They're all doing it. And you know what?
Doing it.
People say they're angry and they hate it. And it's like, you haven't canceled your service, so no, you don't. You're paying the extra, and you're making the CEO smile even bigger. It's like, we just made you pay twice for something you've been paying half for, and you love it.
Biffy, if they release the 4K without Atmos, nobody's going to buy it.
Exactly.
Because I think the people they're relying to buy it are probably folks like us. It's really an old movie. I don't know if the regular guy on the street really cares about the 4K.
Isn't the movie Gravity mostly in space?
It's
like, how much resolution do you need in your black?
Well, you want to be able to see the black stars.
Well, yeah, you want to see that extra. You want to see all the points on that star. It's like, oh, hey, that one only has 5 points. I needed to have 25 points on that one little.
This is an excellent movie in 3D, by the way, too. It's a great movie. In
3D. I have heard that this one I heard is really good. I cannot enjoy the 3D.
Yeah. So. Yeah, this is a good one in 3D, and this was one of I believe this was one of the pioneers for Atmos, right? So
yeah,
it was a fantastic Atmos track also. Even there there's some action. It's not like your shoot 'em out action scenes, right? But in the beginning when all the debris flies over, and then when you got Clooney talking into Sandra Bullock's ear. And stuff like that. It's coming from all different. It's a fantastic Atmos track too. So
that's what I'm saying. Nobody in our community is buying it because of the movie Storyline. We're just buying it because of the Dolby Atmos. That's the reason why I pre-ordered it. Was I just want to listen to it in the home theater and just.
Yeah, and listen, for the price, you can't beat it. It was like $15, $15 or something like that.
Yeah.
Couldn't Hey, I want to address a question that Richard asked a little bit earlier, is about when we were talking about the projectors. He asked, how do these projectors work in a bright room? Thank you for participating, Richard, in the comments. Really appreciate it. So the projector, it's unless you have a light cannon, they're never going to work well in a bright room, right?
Yep.
Depending on where you put them in the room, because you may only have a 100-inch screen, and your throw distance may only require 9 or 10 feet. You're going to get a better light output from something obviously that's closer to the screen than further away. So with these projectors, you can only zoom out so much, right? So the
Now,
lens only allows you to zoom out so much. Go ahead, Paul.
I will say this. Now that JVC, and this is, this is promoting JVC, right? But you got to take it with a grain of salt. They're getting, I know you don't think 300 lumens is that much, but I mean, you're getting to the point to where now it's like, oh, that's as bright as the Epsons, right?
Right.
You can watch an Epson at daylight,
Yes.
Yeah.
On a 150-inch screen and see it. But you do have to have the blinds closed for anything that's directly on the screen or even close to it. But I will tell you this, and maybe JVC is better at this. Your colors will not be accurate.
Right.
You
They'll be
will
washed.
not. You have to have bright cinema mode, and I have mine set to natural. I calibrated my natural mode, and I have natural mode. Whenever close all the blinds and everything, natural mode, all the colors, and you can tell there's a big difference. But whenever I'm just watching, One Piece, for instance, I cranked the sound on it, but I was like, whatever. It's a series. I don't, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be watching it during the day. I put it in bright cinema. I could see it. You can tell the colors are off if you're comparing it to, the corrected, delta of, I only got mine down to like 4 or something like that. Versus, bright cinema is like probably like a delta of like 12. So,
Right. Yeah.
And if you don't know
Yeah,
what
and
it's just,
like Rob says here, if you use an ALR screen, it does help, block some of the side light. Like I also
yes.
I have a black diamond screen. That's it's a SI Screen Innovations Black Diamond screen, and that does block a lot of the light to where you're able to see. However, I will say that it does alter the color a little bit too, so you have to get it
I was
calibrated.
getting ready to mention that. Yeah, it's like it's a trade-off, It's like, well, what's your use case? If you're wanting to watch this in a, room that is more lit, then yeah, you're more than likely. Now, again, maybe with these new Epsons, that'd be nice, if they can do
New
accurate color.
JVCs, you mean?
Or JVCs, yeah, sorry. Yeah, maybe, because you start to get up there, it's
And
really,
honestly, you mentioned it. You may have did a Freudian slip here, but the LS, what's it, 12,000?
12,000. That
Mhm.
sucker
Yeah,
is
that's
bright, man.
yeah. Well, that thing is it's what it's probably a year and a half old now, almost 2 years old now. So
Yeah.
that should they should probably be doing a refresh pretty soon on that also.
Oh man, if they do a refresh, dude, that I might get.
Yeah, that would be really good, man. Because I remember we
I'd be
saw that at
all
MWave,
over
right?
it.
It's really good. It's a
No,
really
it is
good.
great.
It's a great projector, actually. Not good, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Bang for a buck,
12,000.
it's definitely. I would definitely put it for a bang for the buck. Definitely the top of the line out there. As far as getting the most out of the higher end projectors, I would say. What do you think, Paul? 90%, 85% from the Epson versus the
Yeah, I mean,
JVC.
it is not going to get the black. Well, if you're just talking color, well, I guess it depends, right? If you're just talking, straight, hey, I just pulled it out of the box. I mean, they're like 90%. If you're talking black levels, that's 80%, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, 80% at the best. And also with the tone mapping, the JVC is that's a big advantage too, because that's one thing that I wish the Epson had, because like I will have to change that on my movies. I will have to change like the delta of the HDR depending, because it's like, oh, that's way too dark. Oh, so let me change it just like 2 notches, and then it's like it looks amazing, right? But again, like you could do that with like Mad VR and stuff like that, and people have done that. But it's like, if you're buying an Epson, you're not buying a $10,000 friggin' video processor.
You're a little bit light. You're a little bit light on that 10,000, by the way.
Yeah, but they just need
that's for the lower.
they need to
Don't
throw
they need to throw
in they need to throw in native 4K on that stuff, man. Stop the pixel shift. If they're going to do a refresh, just make it native 4K. Even though the pixel shifting is still good, but just do it.
I kind of here's the thing. I like.
We'll pay an additional $500. Just do it.
Like my buddy Ton, he had the BenQ. That thing is razor sharp, right? Like video game reading text, laser sharp. The Epson is to me more of like, hey, this is the movie only type of projector.
Like a soft edge.
Yeah, it has a soft edge. Everything is the way it's processed. It's now you can crank it up, but it starts to get where you start to see, I forget the technical term, where the light starts to, like, you see sharp edges look like white little dots are showing up on any transmit. I forget the technical name for that.
Is it pixelating?
No, not pixelating, because that's the whole screen. Well, it's not blooming. I don't know. Maybe it is. It's not blooming.
Where you see like the white. I know what you're talking about. You
start to see things white outlined, right? Because it's trying to create a crispness, and it's like I forget the name. I know.
Help us out in the chat if you guys know.
China probably knows what we're talking about. Technodad.
Yeah, I forget what that is. But if you turn it up to where it looks really sharp, it kind of does that, where it starts to give like little.
China's a TV guy, though.
Yeah, but he knows all the terms.
TVs do the same thing. TVs do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You can turn them up to where it gets so sharp, you're seeing, things that. Yeah, I honestly, you could probably say what it is, and I'd be like, I don't know. I don't remember what it is. It's like shit.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure we didn't miss that question.
I spent like 6 months learning calibration and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh god, people think.
Look, we got the Projector Pro. Sammy says it's ringing. Yes, if anybody gets it, it will be Sammy.
Yeah, it probably is.
Sammy is a projector calibration expert.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, he has a
color prism as his avatar.
Yeah, I was like, okay, and a true 4D one. Which that's the other thing. You have to think 4-dimensional when you're doing a video calibrate, and that takes a while because you got to understand all the language. It's like, wait, what?
It gets. I'm just gonna connect my spider. And let it do its thing. Right.
Yep. So. There you go.
I know it won't be as good.
I'd like to know what EDID settings you use on your Zidu. Rob Johnson is saying he uses custom EDID. I haven't looked into using EDID for Zidu. I use it for the HD Fury Vroom though.
Well, so right now I have it back to default because I figured out what was screwing up my whole setup, which is kind of funny. Because I had that light, the Govee AI sync box that was doing the cool colors around the edge. So I set it to auto, and it does detect it. It detects the HDR and whatever. But I haven't figured out the format of the custom HDI file yet, because I tried to do that and it just never would work. So I've got just syntax wrong, I'm sure. But you can just go in there and you can select, and it's kind of the same thing. You can select, I have a Samsung or whatever. I uploaded it and it didn't take it, or it didn't read, because I was trying to do specific things. But it's yeah, I'm like, man, I don't know why this isn't working. It even uploaded it and everything, but it's usually something super simple that I overlook because I always overthink things. Like, oh, I didn't put pound bash, or pound exclamation bash / shell in front of the, syntax to identify, oh, this is a shell script or whatever. Um, but what I did do was you can go through and there's 3 or 4 different models, which is basically all you really need to do. With and I want to look into it further, but you can tell it, oh, I have Dolby Vision, I have this, I have that. And it did, like, I told it, oh, well, my projector manually, I said, oh, it's this, right? It's the Samsung and the Zidu or whatever, because it has HDR10 and Dolby Vision and whatever. And whenever I played a movie, it literally said, oh, you have Dolby Vision. The movie knew it had Dolby Vision, so it literally displayed Dolby Vision on the screen. And 90% of the time, that's enough for people. Even if it looks worse, they're like, oh,
Right.
it's got Dolby Vision. This is officially Dolby Vision. It says Dolby Vision on the projector screen. Yes.
Yeah, I actually watched, if you guys are familiar with FOMO, he did a thing on Dolby Vision versus HDR10 Plus.
Yeah.
And he just flat out said that, everybody's in an uproar about Dolby Vision and it's kind of taken over, but he just flat out said that it's not necessary. He thinks that the HDR10 Plus is doing just the same exact,
summary,
if not a better job.
Yeah, HDR10 is more universal than Dolby Vision. That's the problem.
Right.
But what I want to figure out is if in the EDID data you can tell it, hey, I only have this many lumens, so
that is one thing the HD Fury Room allows you to do. You can set.
Yeah, now that
you can set your max lumen and say,
because that literally is my only big complaint about the Epson.
That's why I bought this Lux meter, because it allows you to be able to kind of measure.
That looks like something you picked up at the bargain bin. Hold that up again.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what? That's not a Lux meter, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
That is a Lux meter.
You got that from the.
You got a way
You got that from
one.
the.
But I don't need a complicated one, man. It's just
if you get
we're reading lumens, man. We're not solving numerical analysis.
You picked that up from the $5 Walmart, Walmart DVD bin.
Hey,
I didn't know. I didn't know Harbor Freight showed had light meters.
Forget you guys. Where's yours, Don? Go bring yours, man.
Don doesn't even have.
Yeah, go bring yours. Show us yours. It's probably in a box.
No, I actually don't
His
have one. His
light meter is the switch, and no, it's not even a switch. It's probably the plug that you gotta run the 200-foot extension cord out to the generator. It's like, well, I don't even have power in the room yet.
No, there is power. There is power, but not to all the outlets.
Yeah, man.
So let me give you a quick update on this since you brought that up,
Rob. So. I don't know that you can put links in there. You'll have to.
It won't allow you to put links. You'll have to.
Yeah, you'll have to join the Home Theater Hub Facebook group and put a link
if you're on Facebook. Yeah, I did put my email in the chat too. So if you share, I don't know what link though, but yeah. Feel free to.
Just want to give you a little update on the theater since you brought that up.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
There is no update. Basically, I'm on my 4th hired drywall person now. 3 of them. I could have got the drywall done by myself because I actually had the actual.
Time. There is a point at which you have to decide. Yeah, okay, maybe I'm being too cheap.
Well,
if 4 people bail on you,
like, what are you offering them? Like $1.99?
Okay, so I'm just gonna tell you there was I had several quotes. Right, the highest quote was like $7,000 to do the whole room, or like $7,500 to do the whole room, and then the medium was $4,500, and then I had other people that offered to do it for 3,500. So, the so I figured, okay, I've already done half of the work. I've hung the ceiling and I've hung the drywall. There's only two, hung the ceiling and hung the sidewall. There's only 2 walls left, which I calculated today is literally double drywalling. So it's 24 sheets of drywall. So there's only technically 12 sheets of drywall left to hang, right? And when you double it up, 24. And then to do the mudding, the taping, the
And you're
corner
not
edge,
even mudding
like
the first layer, right?
no, you're not mudding the first layer.
Yeah. Okay.
So I offered a guy. The guy came over. I talked to the first guy that I hired recently. He's like, "How much do you want to pay?" I said, "Well, you were going to charge me $3,500 before. I'll give you $2,000." He's like, "Okay, no problem." He comes over. He said, "Can you do 2,300?" I said, "Sure. No problem." So next guy comes over for half of the. This is an estimate. I didn't hire this guy. Half of the room still, $5,600 he wants to hang in mud. When I got a full quote for $4,700 to do the whole room, and I'm like, okay, dude, what are you putting gold on my walls, or what are you doing?
You know what you need to do, Don? This is what you need to do. You need to invite me and Jessica up there. And make sure you're close to a beach, because that's all Jessica requires.
I'm 40 minutes away.
And
maybe 30.
Send them on their way. And me and you just put me up in that theater room.
It's more just about time for me to be able to do it, So, actually, with my other business, so I own a distributorship also. So with my other business, it's been crazy with my work, my job that I have, and then with my other business, it's been crazy too. But this month, it's going to slow down because I don't have any sales or anything like that with my other business. So I have a time to take a vacation and stuff like that. So anyway,
I'm more of a spackler.
Fourth guy. Paul mud you up there. Oh gosh. Yeah, no, that's why nobody else has been over here, Chana.
So, yeah, it's like I'm not into the whole mud thing, but yeah, I'll spackle you if you want some spackle. I'll spackle you.
Yeah, so the fourth guy came out. I'm waiting for an estimate. He's supposed to give me an estimate tomorrow, but literally, if the estimate's not good, I'll be working on it Saturday. We got company coming in town on Sunday, and then next weekend, all the way through May, I'll be working on it every single weekend. If because I'm about done with, so. Yeah. But yeah, that's the first world problems, I guess. So,
yeah. Well,
trying to hire somebody.
Miguel has drywall flooring in everywhere except the kids' bedroom and the bathrooms. So awesome. He is getting much closer. The electrician's not answering his calls, so
oh goodness.
And this is just the finish work, right? People like this is the tidy up, and it's like, yep, that's the people don't believe it. It's like, dude, you could build a house from the ground up in a month, technically. Yeah. But that would assume that you had the inspector on hook, like that was your brother or your
right.
your wife was the the inspector. A month from ground break, weather pinning, if everything perfectly lined up, but it's not how the world works.
I told you that from the beginning when you were telling me.
It's a pain. It's like, yeah, and that's why
every time somebody says, "I'm going to get something remodeled," I'm like, "Oh yeah, how long is that going to take?" They're like, "Oh yeah, it's only going to take like 4 weeks." I look at them and I start laughing because 6 months later, they're still in the same. They're still in the same issue.
That's exactly where I'm like, I kind of want to redo the shower in my bathroom, but I'm like, God, do I want to shower in the other freaking shower room for like 3 or 4 months? Like, oh man, because I know better.
Right.
It's like if I'm doing it myself, that's gonna take, probably 4 months. So,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
anyway, that's it's one of those things. It's kind of like the barcade. I did all that myself, right? But I designed it and stuff like that. And I mean even that, if I had all the stuff, but it took planning, it took saving for, buying all the equipment, and then deciding, because I actually did like, color design. I was going to get into graphics design as an artist, but I don't know. It wasn't, it didn't ended up being what I went into. So I never did that for a living, but
I didn't know you needed all that to build a modcade, man.
yeah, the mud cave. And then, obviously after you decide the color, your color palettes, your design, what all you're going to do. And I built the bars and stuff like that. Had to pick out all the furniture and stuff like that. I mean, it takes a while, just all that stuff. And then imagine, and that's just me. Now imagine adding 5 other people into that mix, making the decisions.
Yep.
That's where things get like, well, I can't come this day because I got this other person that's paying the $7,000 for the drywall.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to go look for local.
$2,000. And hey,
go look for
let's be honest.
local guys building, man, like new construction neighborhoods, because that's how I got a couple of people to do stuff around. But I mean, my neighborhood is a brand new neighborhood, right? So they're still building houses all over. So it was easy to go
close
across.
By, they'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have to walk in. They just had to walk across, and then do it on their break.
Yeah.
So you probably need to do that, man, rather than going to find somebody sitting at home bored.
Man,
well, the guy that I'm looking to hire now, he actually has another job. So he told me that he would only be able to work on the weekends, which honestly, if he said he's going to bring three to 4 people, so he should be able to hang the drywall in a day and a half, maybe 2 days. And then, you're only talking 25 sheets. So,
dude, if you had 3 people, you could.
So they're doing the mudding and everything for you, right?
Yeah. I want him to do the mudding and all that, mudding and corner bead and all that stuff. So,
are you using like green glue between the drywalls, or?
Yes. Yeah, I have green glue between all the drywall. And I'm thinking about putting MLV additional. I haven't ordered it yet
for the mass loaded vinyl?
Yeah, mass loaded vinyl.
These things are not cheap, man.
No, I went and looked at some solid core doors, thick with a thick outdoor frame on it, to give some good soundproofing. $600, not too bad for a nice solid core made of MDF board. It's
Where
probably
did you
2
find
inches
that?
thick.
Where did you find that?
From one of the door distributors in my area. So I went there and looked at it, and I'm gonna. It takes 6 to 8 weeks to get that door, so I'm gonna go ahead and order that this week.
They probably won't ship, because I like the door I have. It's a solid core door, but it was from Home Depot. I feel like I need something better.
Yeah, I was gonna get. I looked at Home Depot too. The one at Home Depot is half the thickness of the one that I looked at.
You're gonna have to watch the episode about that sound absorbing stuff from Tech Ingredient. Have you ever heard of that channel?
No, I've never heard of that.
Most people will not watch it because this is an actual engineer. And I mean, when I say engineer, you start watching, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
What's it called?
I mean, we haven't watched it because we haven't heard about it, Chad.
Tech Ingredient, right?
So it's on YouTube, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep, and he went on about speakers. He built speakers out of like styrofoam. I mean, we're talking. He will explain ad nauseum why you need like horns and and explain it on. Does not get paid by any audio person. And he doesn't just do audio. Like he's done a few. That's like was a couple of his really popular videos. But he does true scientific engineering, like
So you
like
pop
he
that
did.
up. There we go.
Yep. There you go. Yeah.
Jesus,
If you want to know
900,000 subscribers? I never
if you
heard of
want
it.
to know something scientifically, that's the channel.
Man, we just want to know what door to buy, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want to know if it works, if it can work in ISS, or if you can use it on a spaceship. I just need a door for my home theater, man.
Yep. So, but yeah, he had like
He's like
built,
Mythbusters over here.
Yeah, basically, yes, that type of science, except even more eccentric, if you will.
The guy makes vanilla rum in his house.
He
man.
built an anechoic chamber even on one of his videos.
Man,
DIY speakers and panels 3 years ago.
Yep, exactly. This is like straight up real science with equipment and explanations of true understanding of how stuff works, not just because this corporation said this keyword, blah 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 blah. Which, whatever.
Hey, what the hell? I'll give him a sub. Let me subscribe to his channel right now.
I would, but he did a specific thing on sound absorbing and stuff like that, and that the membrane was a big thing, but it has to be very specific. So you got to be careful, and that's why I was like, you better watch this, because he explains like, yeah, you could spend this much money, that ain't doing shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, look, people, I know that a lot of people say that you build a room inside of a room and it'll shut everything out, but the base is still, what, 150 feet sine wave or so it's going to be hard to contain something like that, but just looking to contain as much as I can. I don't think that, and I even talked to my wife. She's like, well, why are you buying a solid core door? I said, so that mainly for her, right? I said, because if I want to watch a movie, I don't want to hear turn it down or anything like that. And she's like, well, more than likely you're not going to be watching a movie without me. And she had a point, right? So, so she's like, really don't even matter if the sound goes through the house, because it's gonna be us in there watching it, probably, because I usually don't watch movies without her, and she usually don't watch movies without me. So it's just how we've always been. Same thing with television.
That's about as cute as a puppy.
I know, right?
Most people can't say that. I'll tell you that.
Well, and that's the reason. So my setup, it's actually got a couch, like a big wide couch that you sink into. That's going to be in the front row, so we can lay down and watch, television shows, series or movies or whatever. What do we got here? Space camper.
Yep, this is my second one. Just wanted to.
So, and then the back row is going to be the official theater chairs. So. But yeah, I mean, we like to indulge in movies together. So,
yeah, that's good, man. Like, that's always good. That's your approval to go get some more JTR subs.
I don't know that she's gonna like that 815s that I have in there right now, because that's one thing she did used to tell me is to get rid of.
I like VP's comment. It's like, it's not. He knows that the bass is still gonna make it out there. It's like, I couldn't hear you tell me to turn it down because your voice isn't 150 feet long.
Trying to get the man in trouble, man.
Yeah, that would get you in trouble. Yeah, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. So, guys, I got one more announcement I want to talk about.
You're full of announcements today. Damn.
Did you happen to catch Michael's post, Youth Man Michael, about the addition that they're adding to MWave?
I thought I saw something that came up right before the show started.
No,
I thought I said it was already sold out.
Unless it was.
Okay. The speaker company, right? That's what you're referring to. Okay, yes.
Yeah, let me
You
switch
up?
over to this one. Yeah, and just so you guys know, today unfortunately we don't have
Is
a
this
guest.
recent, like within the last
recently
week?
added this week.
Oh, okay. Well, then I have not been.
As you can see down here in room 214, Germani Systems.
Oh, he's official. I heard that might be. Yeah. Wow.
So Anthony Germani is going to have his system there. The only thing, this guy has won Theater of the Year at CEDIA for like the past 3 years in a row. I'm just looking at this map here, though, that's on here, and this is kind of a small room. I don't know what their plans are. I think this was the room that last year. Was that? No, that is the room where they did the
projector shootout testing that had the back room.
I thought this was the room that they did the.
I remember which Zoom because
they did the comparison for the room correction in this room.
Oh,
I believe.
Yes, you are correct.
Okay, yeah. I'm looking at the hallway now. I remember because this is it was on the left side. I remember.
Back left.
Yeah, so that was the very last room.
I think it's still big enough to do a good theater, though. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I like it. It was a pretty big room, bigger than
it was a big room.
Yeah.
Freaking.
It just looks small on this map here, but I think it'll be a big enough size. I'm very interested to hear these active speakers that he has.
Yeah, because I think the room can be divided.
I mean, this is an absolute killer lineup for if you guys have not been to MWave and you're interested in home theater gear. You got RBH, you got Germani, you got Martin Logan. JVC is going to be there, so I'm sure they're going to. I'm hoping they'll have a projector.
They'll have the new projectors. There's no way.
They're saying they're not going to be available till September. So,
that doesn't mean they won't be there for demo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean yeah. And you're right. They may not have, but generally, if they announce something, that means they have it for. It's just not something
they have demo.
Yeah, it's not one that it's like, oh, we don't want to ship this back, so somebody get like a 10% discount on it, right here, right now, if you want to buy it type of deal for used.
Yeah, and I don't want to leave anybody out. Like, hey, SVS, they got their new lineup too. Martin Logan with their new speakers. I believe all these are going to do like a cinema setup. You got a Sendo also. I mean, this is definitely, and I text Michael the other day. I'm like, man, I am pumped for this show. And he's talking about they're putting like 11 seminars together or something like that. I told him he's going to have to extend this show to all day Friday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday, because I don't know how we're going to partake in everything. It's getting to that point to where it's
and the more organized it is. The better it is, because that's what's tough, because in something like this, everyone wants to do a demo, but you have to have a defined and what I don't want to happen to MWave is I don't want it to become just like any other show where it's a process. So you got to have some fluidity to it, but you do have to have enough, like, hey, we're going to start our demos at, whatever, 9, 11, and 2 for projector shootout, right? And then in that we have, here's our 5 things or 5 quick things that we're going to do, and then in between there, you can request and talk.
Oh, you know what? I'm
do
sitting here looking at this. So last year, they only had the first 2. I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but let me go back to this. Let me see here. So they only had the first 2 rows and this one room. But it looks like now they've added
everything.
215A, 215B. So yeah, so the TV comparison was in like room 204 before. So yeah, so and then 215 is where they're going to have the seminars. So now they have 3 rows of rooms.
The gaming setup, man. Wow.
Yeah, man. So look, and just so you guys know, I was starting to say this, but unfortunately we don't have a guest today, but we do have Jeremy, a gentleman that I met through Facebook. He's going to come on and do a theater tour next week. The week after that, we have Matt with Brolic Media. Now, Matt is also a dealer, and he has put together, I'm talking about an uber high-end theater. All right, we're talking about 4-way masking. We're talking, I think he's got unless he's changed, but he's got the Wisdom big boy subwoofers. He's got we'll let him get into it, but turn-off processor, all that stuff. So it's uber high-end. He's running Josh AI in his house, so but I'm happy to get him on. And then after that, we got Michael Youthman's going to come back on, and he's going to talk about, MWave and everything that's going on with it as we draw in a little bit closer. MWave, I think, will be about a month out, maybe a little bit less from the time that he comes on. So
I gotta start cleaning my spare bedroom.
Absolutely. Yeah. I got to book my flight and hotel and stuff like that too. I was looking again the other day, but now that they have this, I was going to leave on Sunday, but I mean, now that there's this much stuff, plus I was going to leave early Sunday. Now that there's this much stuff and the seminars, and then, you got all I'm going to, I officially paid for 3 theater tours, but I figure that I'll have a 4th one at Paul's house at some point, so, we'll have lucky. A theater tour.
I mean, maybe, I'll only charge you $100. No.
Hey, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. If you want to get on the
you know what I'll charge you?
Case of beer.
First round at one of our.
So yeah. Yep. So I mean, I was planning on leaving out early on Sunday, but now I'm like looking at this lineup. It's getting better and better as
and we're gonna have to have Scott back on, because I'll be doing his bass demo. Is that next week? Not.
Oh yeah,
weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Bass brings us together. Yeah. And we're all talking about.
Are you going to be there, Paul?
Yeah,
are you going for it?
I'll be there. Yep.
Oh,
I have a friend that was already going, and it was him plus his wife plus one, and his wife had something come up, so she had to bow out. So he was like, "Oh, dude, yeah, you want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me make sure."
That's awesome. So basically,
I messaged Scott. I was like, "Hey, he'd already had the slot, so, but I mean, it's not the same person." He's like, "Oh, yeah. It's as long
so you're going as a plus one. We get it.
Yeah, I'm going as a plus one, basically.
You're the one that's getting mudded now.
Yeah, pretty much. Sometimes you got to take one for the team, man. Sometimes you got to take one for the team.
Oh man, yeah. So we do have some availability at the end of the month if you guys would like to come back on, if you've had an update to your theater, or even if you want to just jump on. Everybody that has had the opportunity of being on, every one of you have the link. So if you don't, feel free to reach out and we'll send it to you again. But if you would like to be a guest on the show, reach out to us. Ike just put it in the chat there. Send us an email to hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. So the more the merrier in this show. We really enjoy talking home theater. As you see, Ike still hadn't hit the monetization mark, and neither have I. So we surely do this for fun, just to have the conversations with people and just to show our excitement about home theater, and hopefully we're bringing a community together. Do you realize, Ike, that we are one show away from a half a year already?
And don't forget,
Don't make me think about it, bro.
Yamaha also sells audio. No.
Oh, man.
One show, we're on our 25th show. So we're one show away from a half a year of doing this. I can't believe it. I mean, the time has actually flown by doing this show. I really enjoy doing it.
Yep, 25 weeks, right? And what? We've only taken 1 week off?
Are you
No,
sure?
I don't think we took any week off.
We haven't taken
I had to
any
do
off.
the math on that.
You had to take a week off, unfortunately, and then
Yeah.
you had some technical problems one time.
Yeah.
Well, you had technical problems, which caused me to have technical problems.
Oh, whatever, man. Yeah, we got a quick question. Do you guys use D-Sonic amp? I've heard so much about it, but never owned one. So I don't know if I qualify to be able to speak on that. But we got a question from Johnny.
I've not even. Yeah, I don't know what I'm assuming they're Class D.
Let's take a look.
D-Sonic in it, but
yeah, you want to pull it up? Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm not familiar with that brand.
I've heard about it, just never.
Let's see.
D-Sonic.
D-Sonic amplifiers. Okay, let's see. I got the page here. Let's share this instead. M3.
Sounds like something
Scott
will know about.
You made a good guess there, Paul, showing that they were Class D. Compact, lightweight.
Sounds like something Scott may have used. He likes all those mini amps and all those.
Well, these things are pretty pricey, so.
Yeah. Ooh. Jeez, for the mono? The mono is like $1,500. Wow.
7-channel.
$4,000.
Yeah, I've not heard of these. Yeah, the little monos that looks pretty cool. They remind me of the Cherry amps were a little bit smaller than this, but yeah, I'm not familiar, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't able to help you with this.
Some of the specs look good though. But you just never know, right?
Right.
You got to test it to know.
Yeah. See if they have measurements, specifications.
Yeah, they have specs.
So, looking 4 ohms at 1,350 watts. Which one is that one for, though? Click here for detailed specifications.
The specs. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to click on that. Oh, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. That's.
And now it looks like we got a manual.
Oh, here we go. Audio there. Oh. The first thing I do when I look at an amp is I look at the value of 8 ohms and what the power is. And without doing any critical thinking whatsoever, in a perfect world, if you take a 4 ohm load and you put it to 2, or an 8 ohm load and you put it to 4 ohms, it should literally double.
Double it, right?
But that is extremely expensive. We're talking, you know, like Krell. We're talking $60,000, $70,000 amps. Now, if it's not
Reverend
double,
Slim says, "Why start critically thinking now?"
yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, exactly.
we gotta love
Right.
this.
Thank you, Reverend
But
Slim.
if,
'Cause
if
I
it's,
love this
if
audience.
it's not
it was about
double,
to lead us down the path of
how
still
much
water.
less is it, right? Like if you're 8 ohms, 100 watts, right? And 4 ohms should be 200 watts. But if 4 ohms is only 110 watts, that's a shitty amp. I could, without even looking at anything else, it's like, no, there's no way. But if it's 180, that's pretty damn good. If it's 190, that's really good. You know, without even looking at any of the other specs. Now, again, they could be lying about that too. It's like, oh, I'm a 1,000
Right.
watts at 1K for 1 microsecond. That's the thing about all these specs. I love specs, and specs, if they were 100% always measured on the same scale, measured by the same person, then the specs would be the specs. But the
They don't
reality
bring that
is,
speaker company into this.
Hey, send your emails to the guy below me. Don't send it. But yes, he's not referring to these actual speakers, amps. He's just speaking in general. Before somebody sends us an
look,
email.
like I said, the only thing that worries me about this is, as an engineer, this is what I look at. Typical value. Okay, you take something like that, you throw it out the window. That means dog shit. When you're looking at something. What the fuck is typical value? Like, what the fuck are they? There's technical terms that exist for a reason. RMS is how you measure power. You don't say typical value, because when you say something like typical value 400 what? Lumens of light are reflected off of this thing. You know, now you see the W.
Why are you saying typical value?
Let it just
Oh,
let it
there
out.
you go.
Let
Typical
it out,
value
Paul.
up top.
Just let it out.
Yeah, it says typical value. Like,
Yeah,
what the
it
fuck
does.
does typical value mean?
Let the
There's no
rant out.
typical, and there's no such thing as typical. There's $1,000 pieces of equipment that tell you exactly what the value of that amp is. And if you make an amplifier,
Send
if someone
send your emails to
if
that
someone
guy.
on a YouTube channel like Gene has a piece of equipment that doesn't make amplifiers, that can accurately measure amplifiers.
That's called an oscilloscope.
Well, no, it's not. But
I know,
it's a different piece of equipment. But yeah, that just measures voltage in real time. If a person or a company making an amplifier doesn't have that piece of equipment, what do you believe in? Now, it could just be another rebranded, thing that say, hey, I want to jump on this bandwagon. You're already building these. And that's where you can get a good deal on some of these, that it's literally like, hey, I want to pay you to make that same amp that you already have all the industrial setup to mass produce these. Hey,
Monolith.
I want to buy a slot of 1,000 of them and resell them. And they might be amazing, amplifiers, but man, typical value. Come on, bro. Like that right there turns me away from something like that. Like, what the hell does, it's like you're looking at a car and it's like, oh, and you're looking for it to be a race car. And it's like, well, rough speed. Like, what does rough speed mean? What do you mean? What do you mean rough speed? Well, it roughly goes.
I hope you highlighted him, singer, because I wasn't on the page.
No, I didn't.
You did not highlight him on that
highlight
rant.
him.
Yeah, I know. He needs to get better at that, right? Because other than that, like, looking at the specs beyond that, they're not. I don't see anything that's glaringly like, oh God, these are going to be horrible, like type of deal or something like that. But yeah, it's just.
So just
It's
just
a big turn.
just a
It's a
simple
big turn
update.
off when
So
people
just a
start
simple
using
update
these.
to the website would do Paul. Just change those
Well,
values.
but there's a reason. See, you use terms like that to legally get out of any false claims.
Okay.
Otherwise, you would literally say exactly what you mean. So what are you hiding? What I always say, you learn more from what you're not being told than what you're being told when someone's selling you something.
Yeah.
Good.
No, I mean, unfortunately, Johnny, thank you
But
for the
yeah,
question. But
I'd have to
unfortunately,
look
we
at the
don't.
spec sheet, like for a while, to actually. But just glossing over it, I'm looking at it. I'm like, honestly, it looks like it might be an OSD plant, just off of the cuff. But that is just a pure like, it could be from this manufacturing plant type
So
of deal.
like an OEM, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
exactly.
look, Monolith gets their amplifiers,
And those are amazing
from,
amps,
from
I know
API.
those.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
fantastic.
exactly.
They're really
exactly.
great. Yeah.
It's just, I hate whenever, companies try to just inflate and do this and do that. And then they use terms that don't mean anything. So they are legally completely excluded. It's like, yeah, I can say whatever. I could say, typical 4 billion. Well, typical 4 billion W. Well, what's typical 4 billion? Like what does that mean? But again, that's one of those scenarios where you'd have to, someone that actually has had a physical experience with that would have to tell you, because a lot of things, the measurements, and that's the tough part, right? And that's why a lot of these companies do play these games, right? Because the numbers sell to most people.
Oh yeah.
Right. So you
Yeah,
look
and
at,
you're sitting there. When I first purchased my Denon 6300, like 7-8 years ago, I'm looking at the wattage. I'm like, oh well, that 140 watt is not better than the 150 watt per channel. I got to get the 150 watt per channel.
Exactly.
And you, little do you know that those 10 watts aren't doing shit once you get up into the.
They're not telling you. Yeah, you ain't getting no sound difference off of 10 watts. Period.
Right.
No matter what
Exactly.
scenario you're in. But yeah, so in that defense of that that might be why it is, but it's just, to me, it's tough, so you are caught between this rock and a hard place. It's like, hey, I want to be able to, I've got enough money to buy 10,000 amplifiers built from this AETI company, it's like, but how am I going to sell mine over someone else? I got to get creative, it's like, so I use words like, typical, or, whatever. And just to be able to do one little number bigger, and that sells to people. It really does. It's perception is 9/10 of the law, right? So if you give someone the perception that this is better, it doesn't matter if it's even half as good. You're going to buy it and be happy, and that's the games that sometimes they have to play. But I hate the fact that that's what it has to be, it's like,
yeah.
So I'm going to use that. I'm going to
Typically,
my new term,
typical value.
Typical. It's typically 1 million watts, typically,
the typical light output of my projector is
the typical tone mapping of the Mad VR is, typically,
we ought to all get shirts made up for
typical value.
Typical.
It typically measures.
Typically measures.
It just You know,
That's how we're all going to
wattage,
MWave, by the way. It's
lumens,
supposed to be
you know.
typical measurements.
I typically measure 15 inch, but now it's just 2.
Nominal. I even like Beefy's like nominal, right? But nominal has a certain expectation of, you know, most of the time. Typical isn't even a word. Like if you say a nominal value, that means, okay, technically that means, okay, refer to the whatever the
now we're getting Webster broken out to us here.
I know, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Geez.
That means like plus or minus 3, right? Nominal is like, well, this is the average, right? There's a, but typical that man, whenever it comes, that's not.
We need to get Reverend Slim on the show.
Oh,
one of these days to come join you, man.
Yep. Well, I don't know. You guys would be like,
hey, Don and I would just take a break and just let you guys run the show.
Are those guys done talking?
Hey, we'll let you guys run that show, man.
Yeah, sure enough. And Beefy says he's a designer, so we need to get him on here too.
I know, right? Yeah. That's what this is. Nominal.
Were those words that just came out there?
That's right. That's what it is. How many cookies is that amplifier? Yeah, that's basically what they're saying. It's like, oh, this is 4 cookies worth of amplification.
Oh, man. Well, look, we definitely appreciate everyone joining tonight. Sorry that we don't have a home theater tour today, but join us on our half-a-year show next week, next Thursday.
Man, you know what? It would have been cool if that would have lined up to exactly 25.
I know, right?
Right.
It could have lined up to the 26th show, but join us next week on our half-a-year show.
In the year, so.
Yeah. So, look, I mean, we definitely appreciate everybody and all the support. Once again, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, hometheaterhublive@gmail.com. If you have any questions that you would like answered, send us an email. Join us on the show. We definitely appreciate everyone. See you next week.
Thank you. Bye.